This is Invest Now America. I'm your host, Coach Corbin. Folks, I wanted to talk to you today about a topic that I run across. As you know, I do a lot of research and reading magazines and internet articles. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, read books. And one subject I see that comes up quite often is the whole issue of the racial wealth gap. Basically, to put in very simple and crude terms, people are complaining that black folk are not as wealthy as white folk. White people have, 2-3 times more wealth than black people, and therefore that is an issue. And they claim that the wealth gap exists because of systemic racism. And of course, many times they go back and start talking about slavery. Slavery, which was abolished back in 1863. And apparently, according to some white leftists and some black intellectuals, is still impacting us in 2022. You figure that one out on your own. My point is, I want to talk about, share with you my views on this whole racial wealth gap problem. First of all, it is not a problem. It is not a problem. The problem is in how you phrase the whole thing and the narrative you're using with it. The narrative that the white left and their black allies use it in the whole context of America is inherently racist and it always will be racist, and we have to do some very radical things to get America off its racist gravy train. I think Obama, former President Barack Obama, said racism is like part of America's DNA, which I found absolutely absurd given the fact that he was America's first black president. You go to some African nation and you see how many times, first of all, you see how many times they even have peaceful, fair elections. We've been doing it here in this country for a couple of centuries. You got some African nations, they're not able to do it consecutively for 6-8 years. And then you go to those same African nations, you ask them how many people who are considered an ethnic minority within that nation have ever been democratically elected to lead the nation. Here in the United States, that's what happened. Black population in the United States is no more than 13-15%, and yet we elected a black man, not once, but twice, to be president, commander-in-chief of the United States of America. And yet, that same black man wants to whine and cry and complain that America is inherently racist. That's one of the stupidest daggone things I've ever heard in my life. You want to talk about mental gymnastics. I mean, that's not mental gymnastics. That's fantasy. I don't know where the heck you're getting that. That's some Jules Verne type stuff. I really shouldn't even say that because that's an insult to Jules Verne. Grave insult to Jules Verne. There is no such thing. And what I mean by that is that black folks stop looking at it that way. Here's why you black folk, us black folk, need to be looking at it. I want the opportunity to be as rich or as wealthy as I possibly can be. Period. I don't want to limit myself to be equitable to any other ethnic group. I want black folk in America to hit the limit, to go for the limit. The sky's the limit. If we can be considered some of the wealthiest and richest folk in the United States of America, go for it. I mean, go for it. Hustle for it. Run for it. Fight for it. Work hard for it. I don't want no daggone equity when it comes to wealth. That's stupid. If some white guy's out there busted his buns, doing the things he needs to do to create wealth for himself and his family, brother, God bless you, go for it. And don't limit yourself. Don't sit there and say, be some white guy, you working 67 hours a week. You're out of debt. You're buying stocks. You're buying property. You're building businesses. And then you're saying, oh, wait a minute. I got to think of equity here. I got to think that, I can't make more than that black guy or that Russian immigrant down the street. No, man, you forget all that. You bust it. You go for it. That's what I say to black people. You go for it. Don't worry about no damn racial wealth gap. You go for it. You go for as much as you can get, as long as it's done legally. You go for as much as you can get. Don't let anybody put some limit on you. That's stupid. Now, here's another thing I want to say. Folks, sometimes people think there's a secret to becoming wealthy. And sometimes you'll hear these people on YouTube and TikTok. They claim they got this secret to becoming wealthy. I've met several millionaires over the past few years, had good talks with them, and they shared the secret with me. Now, I talk with these guys one-on-one, face-to-face, not just once, not just twice, but several times, and they answer every one of my questions. And several times they would come to me and say, hey, man, I want to share some information with you. So here's the secret, people. Here's the secret to getting wealthy. Listen to me. Listen hard. There is no secret. Did you hear me? There is no secret. There is no secret to getting wealthy. None. And in the United States of America, in this 21st century, be careful now. Don't tell too many people what I'm about to tell you. But it does not matter if you're black or white, male or female. You can be wealthy in the United States of America. That's what I just told you. Yeah, you heard it from me, and you heard it from me first. My later podcast, I'm going to explain to you what I mean. See, I do financial education classes, financial literacy classes here in Louisville. And a lot of those all my financial literacy classes are really built upon what multimillionaires have told me. Flat out told me. Based on books they've shared with me. I say, hey, I got these books. This is what I got. You know what they said? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And all my financial literacy classes are also built upon other people I've learned from. People that you can learn from. But people don't learn from them. They listen to them, they get excited, but they don't learn from them. I learn from them. These millionaires I know on a personal level. The books they've recommended to me. I've learned from others who are financially successful. I put it all together and I present it to young people. Black and white. Now I work a little harder to reach black youth because black youth, a lot of black folk in general, we got this, government is our savior mentality. It's really been pounded into us a lot since the late 60s. It's the government. The government is our solution. Federal government. Who we have in the White House? Oh my God, we got to have the right person in the White House. If we ain't got the right person in the White House, oh Lord help us. That's stupid. That's dumb. The only house that matters is your house, not the White House, your house. When it comes to building wealth, what matters is not the man in the White House, it's the man in your house. That's what matters. And the man in your house needs to be financially literate. The man in your house needs financial education. And the one thing the man and your house needs to be doing is making sure that children are educated in the ways of how to make money, how to manage money, and how to multiply money. If you don't have that, sorry, you're going to be broke. And you're going to take that broke thinking and that broke behavior into the next generation. I can't tell you the number of times I've seen black folk do stupid things. It's got nothing to do with systemic racism. I mean, do dumb financial things. And it's got nothing to do with it's got nothing to do with systemic racism, alleged police brutality, or anything like that. Nothing. Nothing. There is no secret to financial success in the United States of America. Really, there is none. There's no secret. It's all right out there. The real problem is we have too many black people who are ignorant about free market capitalism. They don't know what it means. And they don't know how to take it. And if you don't know what something means, if you don't know how to define it, then you don't know how to play the game, so to speak. If you don't know the game that you're playing, how can you be successful in the game that you're playing? Black folk, most black folk, not all, they're hopefully ignorant of free market capitalism. And you see it a lot with white folks too, young white folks. That's why so many of them are involved with DSA, Democratic Socialists of America. That's why so many of them view this AOC and some of these other nut jobs up there in Congress as heroes. Man, that AOC don't know. She don't head from a home around when it comes to economics. She didn't know. She's ignorant. Folks, if you don't know the game, you can't win the game. You don't know how to play to win. You gotta know the game. And the game is free market capitalism. Those three words, man, they should be like magic to a black person's ear, black American's ear. Free market capitalism. That's the game you got to know. You better know that. You better jump on that. You better learn that. Free market capitalism. You better get all over that. All over that. Well, I had to share that today. I wanted to get that out of my system. I'm going to talk a little bit more next time about how to become financially successful. Because you already know one thing. There ain't no secret to it. Right? Ain't no magic to it. Ain't no black girl magic. Oh, please, come on. Ain't no magic to it. To be ridiculous. So I'm just going to tell you how to be financially successful. Anybody could get on the road to financial success. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care about your gender. And by the way, there are only two genders, male and female. I don't care. You can be financially successful in the United States of America. You just need to know what steps to take, and I'm going to share with you those steps.